Welcome, welcome. If you're just joining us, we're going to get started as soon as we get this thing recorded and everybody muted. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Happy tea time here on Thursday. It's 11 a.m. here in Hawaii. I'm tuning in from the North Shore of Kauai. I hope everyone has got their deep breaths and their tea going. Things are crazy right now on so many levels. Shoot, I'm sorry, Kristen. It's really loud. Kristen's got a computer bug, but we're gonna
turning it off. I thought I did. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, we really want to bring everybody together for a lot of reasons. We want to share some information that has radically changed a lot of our lives, a lot of our health, also our wealth. But really, we just want to be able to come together and enjoy a moment where we focus on the good, the greater good, because life is crazy right now for a lot of people. Today, we're just going to share for the next 20 to 30 minutes. We have some incredible people that are going to share their process with this whole thing that we're gonna share, and we're just excited that you're here more than anything. So just be open and like I said, get your hot cup of tea. And I'm going to share a little bit about myself before I introduce our first guest speaker. But my name is Daize Shayne Goodwin. I got involved in this company about 7.5 years ago. I was a retired pro athlete and small business owner that had failed and found this with the biggest mind and heart of skepticism that you can imagine, because it was network marketing. I've always thought of network marketing, the industry, I've thought of it as pyramid schemes, people that couldn't get real jobs, people that were annoying salespeople and pushy. I had no idea what this could create for freedom for my health, freedom for my family, and not only me, but a lot of other people that have joined this ohana, as we say here in Hawaii, this family and this team. So I'm not going to talk too much other than I know what it's like to be in survival mode. I know what it's like to be in desperation mode, which a lot of us are in right now. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know where we're gonna be in another month with our economy, and it's scary. It is scary. So just be open to hear the different stories that have happened. Like I said, I never thought I'd do a business like this, but because of these products and because what they do on a cellular level, and because people get to the bottom of their bottles and they want more by what they're seeing with people's health changing so drastically, this is an incredible business as well. So basically what I did 7.5 years ago is I made this not about myself, but about other people. And I listened to other people, and I realized that a lot of people are sick. A lot of people have ailments coming at them and with no real way out. And when I looked at this and I started to research and I started to unravel this amazing, amazing opportunity, not just with the wealth, but with your health, I learned that we are at the forefront of something called nutrigenomical medicine. Washington Post says it's the biggest breakthrough in preventative medicine ever seen. So just open your minds. I want you to listen to some of these testimonies today, also a little bit about the biz, and then you're gonna have questions. So get with the person that invited you and get them answered. We have a lot of support here. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Seth. He is calling in from Kailua over on Oahu. He is a medical sales rep and the husband of the awesome Nina, who is an incredible part of this team. So Seth, if you wanna just go ahead and unmute yourself and share your story, that would be great.
Thank you, Daize, and thank you everybody for listening. Yes, I'm the other half of Nina. Apparently she needed some height and a little bit of redneck in her life, so that's where I came into play. With LifeVantage products, we started on those about 1.5 years ago when she joined the business. Myself, I was on a little health adventure. I was listening to a lot of podcasts about the same time, learning about sleep and health and heat shock proteins and doing a lot of my own research and doing my own thing there. And when she brought terms like oxidative stress and free radicals and stuff like that, I still didn't know anything about that. And I thought they were silly terms, but as it turns out, I'm not gonna not trust her. But at the same time, there are the peer-reviewed articles on this. I do medical sales, and I can bring anything to any doctor with my company and have these things called white papers, and they don't care. They'll be like, great, you got great results, your company did. But if you bring a peer-reviewed article to them, that's about as good as gold for them to be able to trust that the results are there. So I trusted Nina. And of course, the peer review thing is heavier than you guys can even imagine. Personally, for me, you know, I heard a couple of different things that may or may not happen. I spent a lot of my life before Hawaii. I lived in the mountains, and I spent 10 years skiing very hard and living so that I could be outdoors during the day, being very active. And of course, a little bit later on in life, you know, you get in your 40s, you start paying for it, and things are painful. The first thing I believe I noticed was old man pains. You know, if I'd squat down or what have you, and just to get up, my knees, my back, what have you, it hurt. And I was getting sick of that, but nothing you can do. Honestly, that's one of the first things I noticed with this is the kind of the aches and pains were gone from this. I do remember Nina also sharing at one point, there was a baseball player, I believe, and the fact that these products can affect you mentally. I have a very, very stressful job. Of course, being kind of the sole breadwinner for this house, that even added even more pressure. And I work for a very stressful company. We're very demanding. And I was able, the stress isn't gone, but the edge is honestly gone. So I think for me, it actually helped out mentally as well. Took a little edge off. Another interesting, you know, a couple of these other husbands around here, they get to surf a little bit more than I do, but definitely moved here to surf. And man, everybody's got shoulder pains, and everybody's starting to get these success stories from shoulder pains. I started working out in the mornings because it's the only time I can do it, about 5 years ago. And my shoulder I couldn't do it. I literally, you know, I work with surgeons, so I'm literally in the OR. I watch shoulder surgery, so I know what's going on with my shoulder. And they just laughed at me, and they're like, well, you either come and have surgery or you change your routine. So I changed my routine completely around because my shoulder couldn't handle it. And about 6 months after taking this, Nina brought up the fact, how's your shoulder doing? I'm like, it's actually doing pretty good. And I wasn't going to test it, but about a year later, I started doing the exercises that I could not do anymore. And I could feel the different areas of my shoulder that did hurt, and how the movement of one area from my rotator cuff kind of, you know, as far as I know, healed. The capsule, I believe, would be healed and not inflamed anymore. Labrum, even my CA joint, just different stuff that I know about my shoulder is better. And that's been really impressive for me for taking these products. The business wise, it's really interesting. Nina joined in, and of course I wasn't going to tell her no. But the idea was, of course, to just cover, you know, we should be taking this stuff. You know, if I do this a little bit, we can cover our cost each month. And I'm like, all right, go for it. And the business has worked out really well for her. Of course, we were doing more than that. And a few weeks ago, right before everything went lockdown from coronavirus, she took me on an incentive trip to Utah. And so I was stoked on that because I skied one of the last days of Utah for this year. But that is my story, I believe, that you guys would
Wow.
like to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Seth. That's so powerful. And I've seen that, everybody, over and over and over again, because this targets inflammation. Now, before I go on to the next person, I want to make sure that you guys are aware that the FDA does not allow us to say that we can cure or mitigate any disease, but we can tell our story. So the next person is Sara Mcdiarmid. She's an amazing, amazing, amazing mother. I'm so inspired her because I have 3 kids. I'm so inspired by this mom of 4 that is devoted to her health, for her family. She's got an incredible story. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Sara, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, Daisy. Yeah, my story, you know, I started taking these products about a year and a half ago, same as Nina and Seth. And to be honest, we kind of just took it as preventative health. We weren't looking for, you know, some magic thing. But for me personally, when I was 14 years old, I ended up getting into 4 car accidents in 1 year. So all not our fault, all just wrong place, wrong time. And my back had taken a toll since then. I didn't want to do anything for it because I was in high school. So I wanted to surf. I wanted to do other things. I started physical therapy. I went on, you know, having years and years of pains, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. They said, you're young, you should be healthy, you're fine. I did MRIs. I had chiropractor, physical therapy, acupuncture, massage. everything that basically you think someone would tell you there's an answer. And I had just bad cervical and lumbar pain. And down my left leg, I would have this really achy feeling. We don't know what it was. You know, I have no idea. All I knew is that I was inflamed. I guarantee I had a lot of inflammation that couldn't subside. I had no idea what was going on with me. So when I got introduced to this by a friend, she actually gave me the drink, the Axio drink, which I was like, okay, what is this energy drink? I don't do energy drinks. I don't like energy drinks. So she gave it to me and she's like, just go take this and, you know, just see what it does for you. And lo and behold, like I took the drink, I picked the kids up from school and I went to the beach and we had a great day. I was taking naps a lot with my kids, and I had 3 kids at the time. And when I found this drink, I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, I don't know. It was my mental clarity. I felt great. So after that, I decided to jump in the business, do my research, as everyone should, you know, do your research. And I found that the science spoke volumes to me. And 3 weeks after being on Protandim, I didn't have to ice my legs, ice my back, and ice my feet. My feet were aching. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. It hasn't taken the pain completely away, but it definitely has subsided. So for me as a mom, like, just to not have that chronic pain for years since I was 14 years old, it's incredible. And I'm 34 now. So for me to have that kind of energy, the mental clarity, the drive to get through my days with my children, I took this as a prenatal vitamin as well, and a postnatal, you know, just an all-around preventative health measure, because now I realize that if I don't have my health for my kids and be the best me, then there's really no point to living. I mean, I need to be the best version of myself in order to take care of my children. So, you know, and now we own our own landscaping business, and my husband is very, very lucky to be able to work right now. However, like, I want to return the favor. You know, I want to be able to bring him home with me so that we can be in our house and raise our children together. 4 kids is a lot. So if any mothers are out there, I mean, this is something that can just give you the energy, the motivation, and, you know, just to get through your days and have that kind of a great mental clarity. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Sara. Thanks so much. And I love that you talked about the Axio, because every product that we only have a handful of them, are so integral, and they all do so much. And I love that. And I love that you can take this when you're pregnant and after. It helps so much with my postpartum. And, you know, it's 5 herbs, our flagship product, but because of the synergy that happens, it's 1,800 times more effective. It's amazing. So thanks for sharing. And then Alisan is a dear friend of mine. I actually met her through this business. I have a friend that's a veterinarian that I tried desperately to get on board because of the science, but, you know, it's network marketing. So it took her a while to find it, but wait till you hear Alisan's story. It's unbelievable. So glad that you're on today, Alisan. Could you just unmute and then go for it? We can't wait to hear from you.
Hey guys. Wow, 91 people on this Zoom. That's incredible. I'm a little nervous now. No, I'm really happy to be here just to share my story with you. My name's Alisan. I live in Georgia, a little bit an hour north of Atlanta. And I'm a mom of 2 boys who are 12 and 16. And I've been a veterinarian for almost 20 years. And I also am certified in veterinary acupuncture. And so when I learned about these products in this company, it was about 6 years ago. I was actually looking for something for my patients. A lot of my acupuncture patients that came in, you know, the owners were requesting, you know, additional things they could give to their dogs, and they were dumping vitamins on my counter, asking me, is this good to give? And so, you know, I really hadn't found anything that I was super passionate about as far as recommending, because there were, you know, a lot of things didn't have the science behind it. And so, so that was one aspect, but I was also looking for something to help my son, my youngest son. So both of my kids, when they were 2 and 5, were diagnosed with a genetic kidney disease. And by the time my 5-year-old was diagnosed, he was already in kidney failure. So we weren't able to really do anything about it. And very shortly after that, he had a kidney transplant. We were able to catch it a little bit earlier with my younger son, but there was no treatment for it. So the doctors basically said, there's nothing we can do. He's going to progress the same as your other son and probably need a transplant around the age of 5 as well. And so again, being a doctor and being, already very open to alternative medicine, I knew that there were things that were out there, whether it be herbs, nutrition, that could support his body. And my goal was really just to try to delay the time of transplant. I wasn't really expecting a cure, but my hope was that we could give him more time. And so I worked with several naturopaths and had him on a lot of different supplements and herbs for about 1.5 years. And the problem that I had was I wasn't seeing any changes in his lab work. And I wasn't seeing any real studies behind a lot of the stuff I was giving him. So I just felt like we were kind of throwing things at him and not really knowing what was going on. And after about 1.5 years, I just decided we had enough. We tried and there was nothing more we could do. And that's when my good friend, also a veterinarian, brought Protandim to me. And she actually brought it to me because she wanted me to use it in some of my patients at work. And when I started reading all of the studies on this product, realizing there's so much science. I mean, we have, dozens of peer-reviewed published studies by universities, medical schools, and it blew me away. And I had never seen anything like that on a brand name natural product. Like, that is unheard of. There's nothing else like that out there. And I thought, well, this would be great for my patients, but I also want to see how my son does with this. So I decided to try him on it. And I was going to do 30 days and recheck labs. And I made it for 2 weeks before I was impatient. And I'm like, I just want to see if anything's changed. And in 2 weeks on Protandim Nerf 2, the marker for his disease had dropped by 50%, the lowest we had ever seen in 5 years of diagnosis. And so, long story short, he continued to do amazing on the product. We actually got an additional 5 more years out of his kidneys than was anticipated. So at the age of 10, he ended up having a transplant, but that's 100% better, than what we anticipated. And so to me, it was just such a huge, it just made such a huge difference in our lives, and again, my patients' lives and other family members. And the more that I've just been able to share this with people and see what happens when the body starts to heal itself, and when you give the body the tools that it needs, the stories are endless. And so I just felt like I really had to share with everybody I knew and everybody I loved, and it grew into a business for me, which I really had never intended on making it a business. But the beautiful thing about residual income and building something like this is you can work hard for a few years and eventually it'll pay you whether you're working or not. So when my younger son had his transplant, I was literally making enough money with LifeVantage. I was able to walk away from my clinic and be home with him to get him through that surgery, and then to homeschool my kids for 2 years. And just the freedom in that, it's been unreal. So I'm very passionate as well about the business, but that's my story.
Wow, thanks so much. I get goosebumps still every time that you share that, and we've known each other for 7 years now. So thank you for sharing. I really, really appreciate that. We really, we love and hang on when it's a veterinarian, someone that really understands the science and understands the validity. It's powerful. So let's just go into business really quick. I want you guys to know about this because you never know when life's going to happen. Just like Alisan, just like for me, I got pregnant with our 3rd child, put on bed rest at month 4, and the gigantic check kept coming. So the wheel keeps spinning without you. And that's really the magic of residual income. Liana, who's going to share next, she's a model actress and understands residual income. That's the thing about when you can do acting and things, the check keeps coming. However, when the show's over, unfortunately, so is your check. But she's learning firsthand what it's like to have that and build something that's gonna, outlive you, basically. So Liana, go ahead and unmute. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us today.
Aloha, Daize. Thank you so much. Wow, model actress. It's embarrassing for me to even be associated with those 2 terms, but I have done both, and you are totally right. I really understand the value of residual income, And just to give you a little bit of backstory on why I even said yes, I have done network marketing before, and I know it works. And me and my family actually were successful in it. And it's because of that residual income that we know is real and can happen. But because I'd done it before, I felt like I'd been there, done that. So when my cousins actually first shared this gift with me, which I really do feel that this has been a total gift to my family, and I'll share with you a little bit why. Even though it was a gift they were sharing, I was hesitant because, like you were also saying, you know, you hear network marketing, you kind of backpedal. But for me, it was the right time because I was looking for an answer for my mom and my sister who were really sick. They're going through a lot of medical problems. Really quickly, my mom had a massive heart attack, massive stroke, Sjogren's disease. She battles with autoimmune deficiencies, so that's why she has a lot. My sister also has a lot of heart problems. So they were basically taking like a bag of pharmaceutical drugs. They were each on like 9 pharmaceutical drugs. And I just wanted a way to get them off of it, to be quite honest. So I said yes to finally attend a meeting. And anyway, fast forward, we're here today. We're all in the business now. And it's because of what it's done for their health and their wellness. And if any of you have any questions for me, I can get with you one-on-one and answer anything you want to hear about what their testimonies were like, because it's pretty amazing. So we said yes to this business, not only because of their health changes, but we also are aware of something called timing. And because we've done network marketing before, we knew that right now was the right time. This business is amazing, which you're going to hear from a lot of my other people that I'm doing this business with. But the timing in this right now, that we are 10 years old, so we have been around. We know that this company is strong. We have integrity, but also we're still growing. So we're not even at saturation yet. And that's why I knew that if I was going to do the business, it's now, and I know that it works. So thank you for letting me share a little bit about why I said yes and why this business is working.
Aw, thanks, Liana. And your dog with his tongue hanging out, I'm sorry. That is so
I was starting to get into sharing and my dog starts barking, and this is my baby. She's on the products too.
She's loving it. She's like, I'm feeling good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And next we're going to have Tara, who has gone and done this business and had success. She's a great person that can explain a little bit more about it. So Tara, if you want to unmute, that would be great. And thanks, Liana. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Daize. Can you hear me? Okay, so this business has definitely impacted my life in a huge positive way over the last couple of years. And I can reflect and compare this to working for an employer because I did that for many years. So in 2002, I started my first full-time job at Old Republic Exchange Company doing 1031 exchanges, which is investment property tax deferred exchanges. And it was my first job. I was young, I was 22. I just purchased a home, got married. I had my whole life together. I had a career. I was excited, you know, and I worked in downtown Honolulu, which is our business district here on Oahu. And it was a cool life, you know, having a career and a job that paid benefits. But I learned very quickly that I didn't own my own time. And life became very real. Within a year or two of working that job, my husband had fallen off of a 6-foot ladder and broke his back and had to have spinal fusion done. And I was just like in shock, you know, like I was trying to juggle working my full-time job, going to the hospital and caring for him after his surgery. And it was just absolutely nuts, you know, having to ask my boss, like, can I go? Can I use my vacation? Can I use some of my sick time? And I was just, you know, strapped to a desk. It was really difficult. Then I started to have kids and started to realize, you know, they get sick. How am I going to stay home with them? You know, my boss is telling me, no, I have to come in. Like, how am I going to make this work? And then not too long after that, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and passed away. So life just got real, one step at a time. And it was so hard to commit to a full-time job, 40 to 50 hours a week, to also managing my family. And then I was offered another job position closer to home, which I thought was a better opportunity for me, more convenient. And I still answer to a boss, you know. And when I was introduced to this business a couple of years ago, it was right at the time when that boss was going to close and retire from his business. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never not worked for anybody. You know, I need this. And then this blessing came along and I jumped. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try something else. I'm excited to, you know, be in charge of my own time, my own life, have time for my kids. And that's exactly what this business has brought to me. It's granted me time to be able to go on field trips, be able to say yes to them, you know, not, no, mommy can't come because I don't want to ask my boss to leave for a couple of hours to watch your award ceremony at school. It has completely changed my life in the way of personal growth, as well as, you know, making money and helping people with the products. It's been a really cool experience. So, you know, like this, we just feel the need and the want to be able to share with others because we care, and it's really important to us. So that's
Thanks,
it.
Sara.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And it's so real. Like right now, life is happening for so many people. And I just really appreciate your honesty and vulnerability because, yeah, life gets hard. And so we can all relate. But thanks for sharing. The last person that we're going to have share is a dear friend of mine, Julie Mai. She has such an incredible story. She was one of my first people to join the team and is now an elite Pro 8, mother of 4, amazing, amazing woman all through. So Julie, go ahead and unmute if you want to share. And thanks again for joining us today.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Wow, I don't even feel like I need to share. There's just been so many amazing testimonies about what we have to offer you guys. And I know for time's sake, I'm going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. But I think I really want to talk about time and time freedom and what that means, because I think that's something so powerful. And I think that's something that a lot of us are really understanding right now with what's going on in the world. First of all, just from my heart to yours, if you're affected by this crisis, whether it be your job or whether it be a family member from the virus itself, just know that you have a ton of people praying for you, and that we're all, you know, one of the best things about what we do is we get to connect like this on a human level. So I just want you to know that you're being thought of, and that I think about everybody every day that's going through this. But one thing, it's, you know, the blessing in disguise through this all is it's giving us this time that we didn't expect, this time with our families. You know, I know at times, sometimes you're wishing that you could run away and have time by yourself, but it really is such a blessing that we're able to have this time right now. As far as the product goes, I'm just going to touch on that really quickly because there were some incredible testimonies. You guys, if you start to dive into what this product really does and how it activates our cells at a cellular level, you're going to be blown away. And we can't say that it cures, mitigates, or prevents. That we got to be really careful because we are all natural. But I know from a personal standpoint that when I shared this with my mom 7 years ago, not only did it give her 7 extra years, in my opinion, she did pass away recently, but it gave her a quality of life that she didn't have before taking the product. Her health improved, her social, you know, skills improved, just everything about her life really improved. And I got to witness that and be a part of that. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So I just wanted to share that. But really, for me, you guys, it's really about what life is all about, kind of like what Tara was saying. You know, what are we willing to give to the man to sacrifice our life? And for me, 7 years ago, even before this came into my life, I was working full-time as a jewelry designer. I was working full-time as a waitress. My husband was a mason. Come home, he would come home from work, we'd high five. I'd go to work at night after working, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day. And I remember having a moment, and some of you might have had this moment, you're going through this moment, you're going to have this moment where you realize, what is it all for? What is it all about? And I remember this moment so vividly that a friend called me and said, I'm going to the beach. Do you want to come with me? And I think I was on day 16 of hammering out my deadlines. I had to go to work that night. She said, the waves are firing. I'm going to go to the beach. Let's go. And I said, you know, I can't. I'm so busy working to meet these deadlines. I can't. And she said, well, can I take your kids with me? And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, someone's going to teach my kids how to surf. Someone else is going to have these memories with my children that I want to have. And I remember weeping about it and thinking that that was going to be, you know, I'm going to wake up one day and they're going to be gone and I'm going to miss out on that. So that's when I want to talk about a little bit about time freedom and what that means, you guys, because a week later, you know, the universe works in mysterious ways. A week later, a good friend, my friend Daize, who's hosting the call, called and offered to introduce me to something that was changing her life. And because I was open to the possibility of something a little bit different, I said yes. And it was the best decision I had ever made. And I just want you guys to know that there is an option out there. There is a different way. You don't have to be, you know, giving all of your time to the man per se, that you can do something a little bit different. You can work from home. You can help other people, and by helping other people you can succeed. And I'm just going to, because I'm a visual person, and just to switch things up real quick before I finish, I'm going to share my screen real quick. I hope that's okay with y'all. This picture right here really helped me understand the power of what we have our hands on. Please don't judge me for my kindergarten drawing, but on the left side we see this is a linear wheel. Okay, this is like what Tara was talking about, how we clock in and we clock out, and you, whatever you can put into this wheel, you're going to get paid. You're trading your time for you're trading time for money. This is what we all sign up for when we go to college. We get a degree. We're going to work the next 40 to 50 years of our life, about 90,000 hours of our lifetime. Hopefully we find something that we love to do. But if life happens, we don't get paid, and that can be very hard, like what a lot of people are going through right now. On the right side, this is a leveraged wheel. Okay, this is something that we call residual income, or creating an engine for your life. This is something that you don't do alone. You're not solo. You work with a team of people or individuals who also want something a little bit more, that want better health in their life, that want to share health with other people. And all of a sudden you're working with a team of people to create this engine, so that when life happens, like it's happening right now for everybody in the world, you know, we're all in this season of winter where life is happening and people are questioning what they're going to do for money, how they're going to pay the bills. What's so crazy about when you create an engine is if you have to step out, like for myself, I stepped out and had another baby, then I had another one, and my wheel kept going. My mom passed away in December, and that's when life really hit me hard. But this wheel kept going. I didn't have to worry about a boss. I didn't have to worry about losing my job, because I had created a team of people who also were creating their own future and their own vision for their own life. And that is what in my opinion, what really got me excited in the beginning when Daize shared this with me, is because where I was in my life, I wanted to raise my babies. I wanted to be the one to teach them how to surf. I wanted to create that time, because it's the one thing that we can't get more of. You can't go to the bank and say, here's $500, Mr. Banker. Can I have another day with my mom that passed away? Or here's $500. Can I have, you know, another year of my baby who's now 14? We can't do that. So that's why this is so extremely powerful. And that's really just what I wanted to share, that if you see the vision of this that we're sharing with you, yes, the products are hands down some of the most incredible products on the planet. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonies of people that it's changing their life in a health way. As you heard tonight, that's just a few stories, but the stories are endless. But there's also the bigger picture. There's also this vision that you can have your time back, that you can create freedom in your life and really do what you're meant to do. And the best part is, by helping other people, you get that, right? So that to me is just the biggest gift. So thank you so much for sharing, everybody. And thank you for inviting me to the call. I'll pass it back to you, Daize.
Aw, thanks, Jules. I'm glad that you showed that wheel, because I was crying. Your story, it hits home, especially as a mother. And I know a lot of you that are parents understand that. And even more than that, I just want you to realize this is not about you. This is about all the other people that this is affecting. This virus, this time, the unknown for the economy and where we're going. So if this isn't for you, make sure that you think of the people that it is. Also, I know a lot of you are going to have more questions on the product today. We have an incredible leader on our team that does an overview of all the products. That's at 2:30 Hawaii time. Get with the person that invited you and they can get you on there. Also, tomorrow morning, 8:30 Hawaii time, I do a 20-minute overview of the products. I go more in depth on my story and also the business. So you can jump on there. You can invite your friends that you may think this might be able to help them. And really just thanks for coming. Thanks for coming and connecting with us. This is one of those things that you definitely want to look at, because in 2 years, it's not going to be the same opportunity. Everyone's going to know about it. Your neighbor's going to be on it. It's the biggest breakthrough that they're saying in preventative medicine, as Washington Post says. So thanks again, everyone that shared. Thanks again for hopping on, everyone, and get with the person that invited you, and let's get your questions answered. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. That was awesome.